Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, there's something that I'm noticing in the international press relative to Africa, and that is that African countries are soliciting Black American stars, entertainers, and athletes and such to represent them to promote their countries. So I'm a little confused. Why are African countries courting Black American stars? A growing number of Black American celebrities, musicians, actors, athletes are suddenly being offered citizenship, ambassadorships, even chiefs and kingships, and other cultural titles from African countries. Not because they're moving there, not because they're running from anything, but because these governments want them. And here's the part that nobody wants to say aloud: some of these countries have more confidence in Black Americans representing them than they do in their own elites who left. So let's talk about why. Because I find that fascinating. They have more confidence in Black Americans representing them than they do in their own elites, the ones that are over here bragging about being doctors and about degrees and things. They have more confidence in Black Americans than they have in them. So it's really true. Over the last few years, we've seen a wave of Black American stars being invited to accept honorary citizenship, serve as cultural ambassadors, promote tourism, headline national festivals, and participate in Year of Return style initiatives. This isn't random, it's not symbolic, it's strategy. African governments are intentionally choosing Black Americans not just for nostalgia, not for diaspora unity, but because Black Americans have something extremely valuable: global influence. And governments know exactly what they're doing. So, this is a high compliment to Black Americans, by the way. And also, it's very interesting that African governments recognize the global influence of Black Americans when these individual Africans online arguing with Tariq Nasheed and others won't accept that. They don't want to accept the fact that Black Americans have global influence that they don't have. The Black American YouTube streamer I Show Speed just left Africa. He just completed a tour of 20 African countries. And when he got to Ghana, I don't think he stayed there a full day. He was given instant citizenship. So that just goes to show the power of Black Americans' global influence. Whether people want to admit it or not, Black American culture is the most exported Black culture on the planet. Music, film, sports, fashion, language, aesthetic, storytelling. Black Americans shape global culture in a way no other group does. So if a Black American star says, "Come visit this country," the world listens. Governments know that. So Black Americans are really the global face of the African diaspora. Not that Black Americans asked for this or wanted this or even expected it, but it is what it is. And this is a very important part of it. Black Americans are neutral in local politics. Africa is diverse, hundreds of ethnic groups, languages, and internal histories. If a government picks a local celebrity, suddenly it becomes why them? They're from that tribe. They don't represent us. But a Black American, no tribal ties, no regional rivalries, no political baggage. So Black Americans are a safe, unifying choice. Black Americans have a reputation for professionalism. Black Americans have spent generations navigating Hollywood, the music industry, corporate America, and global media. They know how to speak to international audiences, how to handle the press, and how to show up prepared. Governments want ambassadors who won't embarrass them. And Black Americans have a track record of delivering. Remember a few weeks ago, Burna Boy, who is Nigerian and a Nigerian superstar, evidently, came to the United States and pissed off his whole audience practically. But moving on, this is where it gets interesting. Why not use their own celebrities, their own elites, their own diaspora? This is the part people tiptoe around. But we're going to talk about it respectfully and honestly. So, why don't these African governments use their own citizens who migrated to the West? Well, here are the reasons that are given. Many local elites left and stayed gone, and they're in the United States and other places bragging about being doctors and bragging about how many degrees they have. So, why won't the African governments use them? Well, a lot of them left and stayed gone. They left their African countries and immigrated for education, stability, better opportunities, safety. Those are some reasons. And once they left, many didn't maintain strong ties back home. So their governments noticed that. Another reason is that some immigrants don't represent their homeland well. They come to another country to assimilate. They distance themselves from their home country and their home culture. They adopt negative stereotypes about their homeland, and they speak poorly about where they came from. And most of all, they don't have global appeal. So governments can't risk choosing someone who might reinforce negative perceptions. Black Americans don't carry that dynamic. Black Americans aren't fleeing anything. They're not running from their identity. They're not trying to escape their people. So when a Black American star says, look at this country, visit this place, it feels authentic, not opportunistic, and governments trust that. So at the end of the day, this is about more than culture. It's about economics and image. African governments are trying to boost tourism, attract foreign investment, modernize their global reputation, strengthen diaspora ties, and compete in the global market. And Black Americans are a shortcut to all of that because when Black Americans co sign something, the world pays attention. For generations, Black Americans were told they had no culture, no homeland, no global influence. But now entire nations are recognizing the power of Black American identity, not out of charity, but out of strategy. Black Americans are being invited, welcomed, and celebrated because the world sees value that America often pretends not to. And whether people like it or not, that says something. Okay, y'all, this is another fascinating subject. African countries courting Black Americans to make them look good. That's what it comes down to. They don't trust their own elites abroad who are bragging about all the greatness that they are. They want Black Americans to help out. Let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up and have a great day.